This is your host, Dub FFG, your fantasy football GOAT strategies. How's it going today? Today we're going to cover week 4. Let's get to it. As always, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button because you know it helps our channel grow and we really appreciate it. First up, a quick recap of week 3. Now the Dolphins are the front runners to go deep into the playoffs this season. They're simply putting up 70 points on a pro team. That's unheard of for our generation and our time. They leave you excited on one point, but on the other hand, they can leave you speechless because you're watching greatness happen and you're watching greatness shine on the hate that Tua may have gotten and his coach as well. So front runners for all at the moment. The Bears and the Broncos, simply disastrous. Great talent on each team, even great coach with the Broncos, but they're disastrous. They need to make some trades to get some first round picks in the next draft or two. They have zero answers for their disaster. Dallas and the Dallas defense, they'll be okay. No NFL team more than likely will go undefeated this season. So Dallas just happened to take the one loss that they may have for the season, and we don't expect many more losses for them. So Dallas is fine. Even without Trayvon Diggs, they can make an adjustment to cover the back end of their secondary and make sure that their defense is still intact. Our hot reads from last week, our must starts, that was a 55% success rate, down 8% from the previous week. As always, we want to be 70% or higher, so we're still on the move. Here's a word from our sponsors. When you look in the mirror, do you see a GOAT? Are you the best that fantasy football has to offer? If so, then wear it on your chest. Fantasy Football GOAT Strategies has new arrivals for the new fantasy season. See the link in the description or scan the QR code. Pick up your gear now. Fantasy Football GOAT Strategies. Week 4 hot reads, must starts. Evan Ingram versus the Falcons, Jacoby Myers versus the Chargers, Chris Olave versus Tampa Bay, CeeDee Lamb versus the Patriots, Joshua Palmer versus the Raiders, Jalen Hurts versus Washington, Calvin Ridley versus the Falcons, Quincy Williams versus the Chiefs, Dax Hill versus the Titans, Chiefs defense versus the Jets. Our week 4 overall strategy and concept: if you have 0 wins thus far, you need to make some moves. Trades and work in the waiver wire. Move swiftly. This is the time to address your needs very aggressively. For example, if you have Joe Burrow right now, you're probably winless. Even for those that play in double headers, you're probably winless or you're below 500. So a big name like Joe Burrow can help you address some weaknesses in other areas, particularly in 2 other spots. So trade him as a 2-for-1. Why I say trade him is simply this. Joe Burrow has a calf injury that's going to nag him throughout the season. That's like a hamstring injury, not just a pulled hamstring, but a torn hamstring. So that's what that calf injury is similar to. And it's going to nag that person throughout the season. Joe Burrow, before the injury, had a bad offensive line each year. The one year he got a knee injury in the last game. The following year, he was still running around. Even the year where he went to the Super Bowl, he still took sacks and running around to make plays. Now he has a injured leg. He can't run like he did before with a bad offensive line. So his numbers, particularly his fantasy numbers, show it. So there's somebody that has Jamar Chase. There's somebody that has T. Higgins that wants to stack those players or that player with Joe Burrow. Trade him. Address 2 other needs or 2 other areas with that trade. He's a big name, and people want him simply off of that namesake, particularly owners of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Get a 2-for-1. Another name that you can possibly trade, Justin Fields. I know some want to drop him. Understandably so. He's not performing how he's normally performed in the past couple of years, but he's still tradable. Why? You want to trade him off of touchdown potential, because 95 to 98% of the Bears touchdown scoring, will come through the hands of Justin Fields, whether running or passing. So that's what you're trading. That's your selling point for trading him. If you can get 2-for-1, do so. But if you can't, definitely address a strong need on your lineup. As for Dolphins, again, all Dolphins offensive players, skilled players, need to be in your lineup. Don't question it, regardless of the matchup. Do not question it. Tua, Hill, Waddle, Mostert, even A-Chain. Put them in your lineup. Don't question it, regardless of the matchup. Now, unless it's pouring down raining or some kind of snowstorm, don't question it. Put him in the lineup. It's still sunny outside, so the Dolphins are still shining bright. Get aggressive with your lineups and trades. Again, using Burrow as a benchmark for this conversation, sacrifice big to get big. In 10-team leagues, you're pretty strong in each position, so your weaknesses aren't clear. But in 12-team leagues or higher, you're not strong at every position, so your weaknesses are more clear. So someone like Burrow can get you strong and get you back to going above 500. Trade him. Simply trade him. Don't worry about the big name. Don't fall in love with it. Trade him to someone that has Chase and Higgins. Again, sacrifice big to get big. There's an old saying, it takes money to make money. Go get it. This is Dub FFG, your fantasy football GOAT strategies. Week 4. Till next time. Question: is your NFL team winning the Super Bowl this season? If so, then you better get your new gear for the new season. NFL Shop is providing with your new favorite team's apparel this season. Use the link below or scan the QR code to see a huge inventory of NFL teams apparel. Discount codes will be available throughout the season, so use the link. Shop now.